Hey everyone, Arthur Gaming here. We're going to do a little interview today. This is the 10 question interview, Dungeons and Dragons style, and my guest is Joshua Blake. Josh, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey guys, Joshua Blake, also known as NPC Voices on Twitter and Instagram. I'm a voice actor and crazy weirdo dungeon master. Two things that I would like to plug personally is I'm on the Fabled 42 stream for both Fables as well as for Origins of Ukador. And then a really fun thing we got coming up is me and Arthur are going to be doing a three shot. I will be the DM and he will be one of the players. And it's going to be a crazy, like, familial grudge of a dwarven one shot or three shot. So please come check it out.
I'm really looking forward to that. By the way, I don't get to play very often, so this is going to be awesome. So, all right, so we're going to get right into some questions here. Um, Again, generic kind of questions about your experiences in general. Not a quiz. There are no wrong answers. All right, so first one is. And I find this one to be hard. And Brianna Flame, I did one with her, and she had a pretty good answer for this. But I found this to be kind of hard. So, what is your process when you're naming a character?
Ooh.
Do you do like research on a line? Is it like an epiphany, like a name just comes to you? Like, how do you get names for characters?
So I am definitely on the same side as you for this. It's hard. Like I will sit down and think I'll go through like Gaelic interpretations from English. I'll go into like Roman stuff. I'll be like, okay, but let's think Perseus from mythology. But what if I take half of his name and I mix it with Zeus so that it's the same kind of like dystopian change, which equals my character psyche. And I'm like, oh man, but what if that doesn't work out and nobody gets that? I was like, but I don't want anyone to get that. So usually I go along that path for about 3 or 4 days and then I cry and then I just get an epiphany and I go with that name.
Nice. Yeah. See, uh, I have such a hard time with voices and stuff, or voice names and stuff that I am the worst at naming things. I feel like I need help. Like there should be, and I do. I go to some resources online where I like look up, what's a good name for a minotaur, for instance, and I will just, do some research and such. So yeah, that's my hardest thing to do. All right, switching it up a little bit here. What is your most memorable critical success in a game of Dungeons and Dragons?
Oh my gosh. This was a recent one and it's really horrible. Like really horrible. So oh man, I'm sorry to all those weak of heart. My character Zorun in the Fire and Dice's campaign, he was out of sorts with one of the other characters, and so he kind of took into his own hands, and he ended up just killing this other player.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's because this player had put the party in danger multiple times and never asked for forgiveness, just pretended like it was all part of a massive plan, always wanted us to trust her, but never would trust us or anything. And so finally it got to a point where some bystanders, some slaves were killed. And Zorun's past, he was a slave. And so this like pissed him off. And so I rolled criticals when she was prone. Like it was massive all these other things that led up to just this kill of another player. And I hated it, but at the same time, it was the most memorable. And everyone at the table was like, it needed to happen. It was something that was like putting us at risk. It was an amazing role play moment, probably the best role play moment I've ever been a part of. But man, it was a lot.
Yeah, good. Okay. In the same vein now, what is your most memorable failure? I've had a few, so
I don't know. Like I've had a lot of failures as a DM,
well
but
that's good as a DM works.
okay, as a DM, are we talking like rolling a one, or are we talking about just a failure
Just
as
anything, any if you want to roll
perfect?
a one failure or just a failure in general works for me.
I I definitely there have been multiple failures for me as a DM, and there have been lessons that I've had to learn. and it's learning when to step back. And as a DM, and especially as a perfectionist myself, that's sometimes very hard to do. But when you get too involved in a storyline, you can sometimes destroy it and not allow for your players to be able to have that room to grow and create this world around them. Instead, you end up just railroading or storyboarding them. And so the failures that I've had is when just ADHD takes over, I'm not paying attention, and I come back and I'm like, oh, they're just talking. I need to like progress this on. And I'll interrupt them, and then I'll realize that they were talking as their characters. They were like role playing and having an awesome time. And I was like,
Crap.
dang it! And I'm like, no, not what I wanted. And I'm like, no, never mind. Go back to what you were doing. And they're like, no, it's okay. I was like,
Yeah.
uh never my intention.
Yep. Yeah. And you know what? And I think as a dungeon master, I think sometimes we get sucked into that, and we forget that the story is not all about us and it's all about them. And I do it too. I've certainly done it my fair share of times. And then exactly, you get like in that mode, and all of a sudden you're in the middle and you're like, what the heck am I doing? Crap.
Yeah.
I've certainly done it. And it does. And then you're like, how do I get out of this and get back to what I was just doing? Because that's the hardest part then, is trying to figure out how to get back out of it. It's like in your head, this dialogue running. You're trying to figure out how to get out of it and get back to what you were just doing, and you can't figure it out. It's just tough. It's terrible. So I totally get you. It is the worst. Number 4. So what is your most memorable character death?
Oh man. Gosh, my most memorable character. I've been a pretty much forever DM as well, and so I've barely played. But the most recent thing in Fabled 42, a bit of spoilers here, but in Fabled 42, my character Cole dies in the arena, just absolutely massacred. And it was really hard because it was like, I'm part of this stream and I know I'm part of this core group of people that's supposed to keep playing, and this is like my 5th episode. And I'm like, wait, what? Wait, hold the freaking phone. And he gets killed, and Brianna Flame's character was right there, and she and I have been really connected this whole time and like relying on one another. And so when I died, I'm like, I forget what I said, but I think my character looked at hers and was like, it'll be okay. Don't forget to smile. And then and like spits out the blood and is pulled off this blade.
And did she stand over you and watch you die?
She actually, so the monster was, because we were in the gladiator battle, so monster was here, I was here, she was here. And so she had to watch as I was in the air, like suspended on the blade of this creature.
Gotcha.
And I just kind of like give her a thumbs up. And then
So
dead.
What level characters were these characters?
I think we're only like level 3.
So you're not getting
not
getting raised at all. This is not you're no raised deads happening here.
No.
That's a shame. That's a shame. Well, I'm sorry to pull out the salt in the wound there and really get that fresh wound going. Okay, question number 5. We're halfway through. Tell me about your favorite character of all time.
Yes. So I'll try and keep this short. It's actually
take your time. You don't have to keep it short.
I first made this character as not really a joke, but one of our friends, Keith and I's friends, was like, "Hey, I want to run this one shot for you guys, make chaotic characters." And so my thought was, "Oh, so he wants to make like evil characters." So I created. And this is actually, so I was talking to you about how I was about to go get cosplay materials. It's because I'm making this cosplay for this character because I love him so much. It is a human variant Hex Warlock, or Hexblade Warlock, with 1 level of Bard. So it's this, he takes the feat of heavy armor. And so because Hexblade, you're allowed to wear light and medium armor, and so able to do the heavy armor feat, so you can get plate mail and all that. So he wears like this black plate mail, but he has this beautiful like pale skin and this like golden hair, and just looks like this angelic person, but he's chaotic evil, or he's, I think, lawful evil, one of the two. But he's just the worst. Like, he is the most horrendous creature, and he hates humankind. He hates all of the intellectual beings within the realm, and he talks very much like this, very kind and very happy, and he charms people a lot. And in one of our sessions, I was like, wait, so as a warlock, I can bamf my sword into my hand, right? And they're like, yeah. I was like, so if I have someone just standing in front of me and I
I
bamf it
know
into
where this
my
is
hand,
going.
and I was like, how does that work? And my DM's like, that'd be a critical hit for one. Normal damage, but still, your blade is inside of someone. He's like, but of course they will get a dexterity saving throw. And I was like, okay, cool. I used charm person, and at the level we were, I could charm 3 people, 4 people at once. And so I did it all, had everyone just kind of line up, and he took them all out. Our necromancer, also chaotic evil, raised them, and we had our. It was the worst, but I love the character so much.
So what level did you get this character to?
I think it was just like 6. Because it turned into a 3-shot because we just progressed it and made it a longer game and everything, and we were all having so much fun. It, I think 6 or 7.
And what race was this character?
Human.
Human. Yeah. See, I love playing humans too. I was always the guy way back in the day when everybody was playing dwarves and elves and blah blah blah. I'm like, I'll be human, and they're like, what? Why are you human? I don't know. I like it. It's just,
They're so good.
Yeah, yeah. I just like them. I don't know. They're like, but you can't see in the dark. Oh, I'll figure it out. That's fine. It's fine.
That's actually one of the things I love about the warlock is because I take devil sight.
Yep.
And so I can see 120 like it's bright light.
Yep.
And then the thing that we've done is we've cast darkness, sent me in, and then just like spec ops, like
yeah, yeah. I love that. The warlock is a badass character. And I like the hexblade as well. I played it very similar because in 4th edition I loved the sword mage. So they don't have a sword mage in 5th edition yet, and I really wish they would because I love the character class. And so the hexblade's kind of close. It's similar, but different. But all right. So switching away from like characters and that sort of thing, what is your regular gaming group like? What is it like? What do their people consist of?
like their characters or just the
No,
people?
they're people. The people themselves.
Oh, okay. So I've got 2. One that's definitely been put on hold because of Corona, which is Fire and Dice's group that I used to meet with like weekly or every other week, and then my group that I've got going on right now via like Discord, where we just play at least once or twice a week. Which one do you want to hear about?
Give me the Discord one. That's fine.
Cool. Discord one is me. I don't know if you know the Warhammer Lass.
No.
She's on Instagram. Awesome painter. Incredible. I've had multiple projects done by her. Amazing. Plug. But their group is just great because almost all of them are new to D&D. And so there's no like, oh, it's a harpy, it's got 30 HP, it can attack twice. And no, it's none of that. They're all just along for the ride. And it's so funny because she and I were the ones that first set it up, but her now fiance is the one that's so much more into it. He's like, no, when are we next playing? I have this new idea for my character. I've got this awesome like plot point. And I'm like, yes, because I love having players that are so enveloped in the storyline and want to progress it.
Yeah.
Like last session, I almost killed them because I didn't do the math and wasn't thinking straight, but I lowered the HP of them, but I put 4 harpies and like a harpy matriarch against them. They are 3 level 3s. And so I was like, well, they're all challenge rating 1, so it should be fine. Then I was like, wait, even if I lowered the HP, the damage output's the same. And we're like mid-battle when I'm thinking of this, and I'm like,
yeah.
Awkward.
Yeah. So does that mean you got Warhammer Lass and her fiance, and who's your other player?
The other guy, I cannot remember his handle, but he goes by Claus. I can't even remember his actual name.
But
he plays a halfling rogue.
Nice.
Warhammer Lass plays an elven ranger, and then her fiance plays a half orc. I think Paladin.
Nice.
Started off Barbarian, and then I was like, I think you'll like this class a bit more. And
Yeah.
so I added like a plot point that could help him with it. And so he
Yeah,
became
yeah.
Paladin. He's like, this is amazing.
Nice. Nice. Paladins are great. I love paladins.
They're my favorite.
They are. They're near the top of one of my favorites. And you know what? I haven't played one in fifth edition at all yet. I probably should.
You should.
Why not ever get to play? So I always end up trying different weird stuff that I haven't played before.
Hey
So.
man, 3-shot.
Uh, well, we were talking cleric. I don't know. Maybe
Mm.
maybe I should switch to paladin. We'll see. Maybe. I don't know.
Pally has good heals as well.
True. True. Okay. So, what is the most diverse gaming group you've ever played in?
Gosh. I mean, are we talking diverse like
People, not characters. People.
not characters? So like, are we talking race, or are we just talking like diverse from personalities?
Like gender and race. You know how the
Okay.
old image of Dungeons and Dragons is always a bunch of white guys like me and you sitting around a table playing Dungeons and Dragons, and especially in the last, especially since fifth edition has come around, you've seen a lot less of that. You've seen a lot less of the table of, okay, it's me and my six white male friends all
Yeah.
sitting around playing Dungeons and Dragons. And you're seeing a lot more women and people of color playing. And so I was just curious, like, what has been your most diverse experience?
Probably Fabled 42. Fabled 42 may be my most diverse group right now. I played in multiple other diverse groups, but nowhere near as close. And I mean, technically I could count the Lady Tiefling one shot. That was pretty diverse with it was called Drown Vines, and we had Critical Bard. We had Brandon Cutler. He's an AEW professional wrestler. Awesome. Everyone in this was amazing. We had Danny from Hoop and Loom. We had, of course, Lady Tiefling. And then I know I'm forgetting one person, and they're going to hate me for it. I don't. Oh my gosh. He's an artist. His name's Tim. Critical Hit, I think, on Twitter or something. But all these people just very diverse, from different backgrounds and everything, and everyone coming together, sitting at the same table.
Nice.
Was just really nice and really heartwarming, and that's what I think it's about. And that's what I've loved about D&D is it's about having fun.
Right.
And it's about just having a good time with the people next to you and just living in this fantasy that's beautiful.
Yeah, and that's kind of where this question was going for me. Was, again, people do assume Dungeons and Dragons is Big Bang Theory, right? It's like the five guys sitting around, the one token not white person with all the rest of the white people, all of them guys hang around playing Dungeons and Dragons, and it's really become a lot less of that. And so it's good to hear and know from other people, because there are people who don't have that, right? There are people who, just like me when I was a kid, all I had was me and all my white friends sitting around, and all guys sitting around playing Dungeons and Dragons. And couldn't imagine a day when that would be different, and then now my groups are more and more less men, more women, less people that are just white and people of color, and it's pretty awesome. It's pretty great.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 3 more questions. These will be easy, quick and easy ones. What is the largest group of people you've ever played D&D with, and where?
Keith's campaign, which is 8 people. And then sometimes someone else will come in, and so we have 9 people playing, and he's the DM for all of them, which...
Yeah. So is it 9 counting the Dungeon Master, or 9 players?
9 counting the Dungeon Master, and then if we have the guest, it's 9 players.
Right. Ouch. That's a
lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's hard to run. And keep it going,
Yeah.
Good for him. Good. All right.
Oh.
All right, and here's 2 favorite questions. What is your favorite spell, and why? Tough one, isn't it?
I'm going to answer this, and then after we're going to hang up, and I'm going to be like, oh, no, dang it was that one.
Yeah, oh, yeah, of course.
Okay, so of course I'm going to go crazy OP, and I think I'm going to go with Power Word Kill.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Because it's one I've always wanted to use. It's as a dungeon master, as a player. Are players able to get Power Word Kill?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's like a ninth level spell, ninth level wizard spell, I think.
That's
Maybe
cool.
eighth, somewhere in that area. It's good. It's good.
That's sweet. Um, but yeah, I have just always wanted to just describe the movement, and then even if it was an evil bard that was doing like sing this whole beautiful song that ends with the final and death, and that's the power word kill. And,
Nice.
uh,
Nice. All right. Good one. Good one. All right. And last question, probably the hardest question out of all of them. What is your favorite magic item and why? Uh, you think it's easy until I ask the question, and then it's not.
and I'm like, come on.
How hard can it be?
Oh man, favorite magic item. Uh, See, part of me really wants to say um, the. Oh my gosh, why can't I think of it? The deck of
Deck of many
cards,
things.
deck of many things.
It's a
Part of me
great
really
one.
wants to say that because I've never gotten to use it. I've never gotten to be
Really?
the DM for
Oh,
one.
it's so good. It's so good.
But then another really big part of me wants to say the Dwarven Thrower
Oh, yes.
because when you use that, you just feel so powerful. You become
So
a
good as
new
well.
person.
Yeah. Dwarven Thrower is so
Oh.
good. You know, there was a cursed one for a while, Dwarf Thrower, where if a dwarf tried to use the hammer threw the dwarf instead. Yeah, it was. I don't remember what edition it was, but someone had made it somewhere where it was called. It was like a hammer plus three dwarf thrower, and people were like, "Oh yes," you know. And if you try to identify it, it was the dwarven thrower, so it looked just like the regular hammer. And you give it to a dwarf, and when they go to throw it, the hammer throws them instead. It was great. I've seen it. It was good stuff.
I'm gonna make this in one of my games now.
It's so good because they just totally fall for it, and here it goes whipping them across the battlefield, and their hammer stays back there, and they're over there, and it's
See,
good stuff.
what I really hope is that the first time they use it, it's a nat one.
Yeah,
So they just think it's me being a DM.
right. You being a jerk. Yeah. Well, that's it. That's my 10 questions. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. I want to give a big thanks to Vorpal Board for letting us stream using their amazing software. Go check them out at vorpalboard.com. They're awesome. And of course, a big thanks to Joshua Blake. Dude, I'm looking so forward to playing in your game. Of course, now I think I need to go make a paladin instead of a cleric.
You do you.
We'll
Be
have to
happy with your
talk.
character.
We'll have to talk. And I think that's about it. All right, everybody. Thanks very much. Tune in again. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, go check out Joshua Blake at NPC Voices on Instagram, and take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Let's see how to shut this off.